All right, traders, welcome back to the second episode of TFA Talks. So, over here, we talk about the market outlook and also focus on the pressing matters in the market. And in the first episode, we yesterday spoke about the market index, that is your Nifty Bank Nifty. And also, we spoke about Adani Entertainment, so Adani Enterprise, TCS, Escorts, Reliance, Marico. And today, we will have our view on few other buzzing stocks as well. So let's get you started with Nifty first. So Devang, what
Yeah.
is your view on Nifty for tomorrow?
All right. Thank you so much, Himale. I want to give you just a background of what happened in Nifty today, what had we planned today for the markets for all of
Okay.
you guys. And I hope you have done exactly what we had planned. So, yesterday, if you remember, what we discussed was that Nifty is going to face a stiff resistance around these levels. And today, what happened was we had a very big gap up. So, if you look at the internals of Nifty, things become quite clear. So, yesterday, we clearly had mentioned in the talk that it's very important where the market opens, and we will be facing a stiff
Hmm.
resistance here. So today when markets open a gap up higher, it's quite obvious that whenever markets are opening higher, they are going to move sideways as discussed yesterday. So today
Yes.
also the 11,600 level was a very very stiff resistance. This is the same level which was holding since 18th of September. So again, this level, if I go to the internals again, 11,600 was very difficult to break. So yesterday our strategy was to buy if you are closing above 11,600 significantly. And that never happened until about 2:30 in the afternoon. So the only
Yes.
trade that we got was around 2:30 where you could have gone long and made some profit. But also we had discussed that you have to reduce quantity on the long side, but you can have a full quantity on the short side because markets are quite extended. So this was only one area for me where I took a trade and with small quantity had made some profit. So that's basically what I had
Perfect.
planned for Nifty, and it worked out well. I'm happy that markets have obliged us with the analysis. So yeah.
Perfect. So do you think that we should be scalping in the current markets, or would you suggest to hold our positions overnight as well?
See, looking at the current market structure, I've been suggesting my clients that you have to try to hold some positions overnight. The reason is because if you see the structure, every day is either a gap up or a gap down. So essentially, all the profits are being lost overnight. And if the profits are lost overnight, you are not going to make a lot of money in the markets because they move sideways. So if you can, if you have the
Hmm.
capital and if you know the direction of the market, try to at least have some quantity holding overnight. That's what I would like to suggest to you.
All right, I see. I
Yeah.
think that is a good view on Nifty.
Yeah.
So if you could just summarize, the levels for Nifty once.
Yeah. So before I get into that, let's talk about the stocks we had discussed yesterday, because
Okay.
it's quite essential to know what people had done and whether our analysis has held or not. So firstly was
Absolutely.
Escorts Himalaya. You had given this stock. Do you want to talk about this?
Yes, so like I mentioned yesterday, that Escorts is at the support level, and that has been respected very well. And today it has, ended up creating a doji, and
Perfect.
there are decent volumes in the market. So I'm still, a little bullish on the stock, and we saw the confluence of the support over there. That was your dynamic support and your static
Right.
support.
Right.
And I still see an upside to the stock. Nothing to worry about over here. I think that our analysis does hold true till now.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I think we can get some push in the sector, and Escorts maybe can try to lead that gain. As long as this support line is holding, I would say if this level is broken, then we can start worrying or exit longs if we are holding.
Absolutely.
So you also talked about TCS. It's been in the buzz for quite some time, and tomorrow are the quarterly results, and they are expected to be sequentially improving. So what is your feedback on TCS for tomorrow? What do you think?
So see, yesterday itself I had mentioned that the markets have reacted to TCS quite positively, and today if you see, it has ended up creating a hanging man pattern with
Yeah.
high volumes. But I feel that the stock is currently at a overvalued price, and if a person is looking to long the stock right now, I don't think this is the best time to long the stock. I think we can wait for a correction, and maybe then you can follow the strategy of buy at dips, and you can approach the stock by just buying at dips.
Yeah, that's perfect because we should remember that in the market, good news is bad news and bad news is good news. So tomorrow, even if
Absolutely.
TCS posts good results, I think I am also expecting some kind of correction. maybe it can come till 2600s, or maybe we can fill the gap in the coming 10-15 days, which is possible.
Yeah, so
And that
it is just like the first law of Dow theory as well, wherein the market discounts the information
information,
beforehand.
yeah, that's
I
true.
think that has already been taken place. The information has already been discounted, and if
Yeah,
you also look at the RSI, it has already come in the
okay.
overbought zone. So there are
Mhm.
expectations for a little correction. So not the best time to buy, but I wouldn't suggest to short TCS. Uh, the reason being, IT sector in itself is one of a very strong sector, and I always tell all my clients that whenever there is a correction in IT, you
Try to
won't
buy
see
on
a
dip.
steep downside.
Yeah,
Absolutely, buy and dip, and you wouldn't see a major correction on the downside except for the COVID period. You would more or less see like a consolidation in IT before it gives a burst or move again.
yeah. So that holds good. And I think this also follows with our Nifty IT chart. Nifty IT, after a spectacular move to the upside, has also given a hanging man on the daily charts. So we can expect some correction or consolidation at least in the IT sector going forward. And maybe it can try to fill these gaps around 20,160 levels on the Nifty IT index. I think that's quite a big possibility. Um,
Absolutely, I do agree with you.
Talking about Adani Enterprises, it was discussed yesterday. It cannot give a single shot breakout. So today it has consolidated. This means, market is giving you opportunity to enter again, as we discussed yesterday. So if you are breaking the 334 levels tomorrow, it's a good opportunity to go long, maybe for a target for the coming days to about 350 levels also. So we have got an inside candle as we had planned for Adani Enterprises. And talking about Reliance, exactly, Himalay, what had you said? And I think that truly has held today also.
Yes. So, see, I was expecting a move in Reliance today itself, but apparently it again did not participate in the markets. Now, just before this podcast has started, I was going to the market news, and there was one news about, Adia, who is willing to invest about 5,500 crores in the Reliance retail segment.
Yeah,
So
about
there is a lot of.
1.2%. Yeah, stick.
Absolutely. So there is a lot of demand for that Reliance retail. It's just buzzing all over the place, and the move has to come. It's just creating that steam for the buyers. It is quite evident that it is unable to break the 2200 level, which is a very strong level for Reliance. Now,
Right.
don't short this stock right now. Don't look for a shorting opportunity. Though there are a couple of red candles in the past 3-4 trading sessions, that does not indicate that Reliance is under the selling pressure. I think this is just a build up for the buyers, just an opportunity for the buyers to look for a long side.
Perfect. So I think tomorrow it could be a good day, and Reliance might give you a good move. Maybe these profits go in the gap up, but I think we are expecting some move from Reliance tomorrow morning. Okay, and finally,
Absolutely.
we discussed about Marico. It was clearly stated that 380 level is a 2-3 year level. It's not going to be broken in one go. And as expected, we have got some kind of correction. This correction might come to 360 levels also, as discussed. So if you get these levels, I would say try to get the stock on the dips or increase quantity when you break out above 380 for a target of 400. So with
Yes, and
that
I
being
think this is a healthy correction in Marico, and it's actually a positive thing that it did not break it in one shot, because if it would have broken it in one shot, then again, like we spoke yesterday, that it could have immediately reversed back down, and that might have acted as a false breakout.
Yeah, perfect. So with that being said, let's move on to today's market. Today's market, sorry, tomorrow's market. So what can we expect tomorrow, and what is the plan of action? So let me talk about Nifty, and then Himalaya, you can talk about Bank Nifty, which is the segment that you love to trade in. So the Nifty index obviously has been quite strong. It's given a good breakout also of the trend line that we discussed, and surprisingly we have also broken above 11,600, convincingly closed above those levels. So structure, if you look at this market structure, it's bullish, there's no doubt to that. But if you look at it closely, there is weakness in the sector, in the index per se, and there are about 4 gaps that you can see in the market. And as I said yesterday, markets have to try to fill at least 1 or 2 gaps going forward. Otherwise,
Yes.
if markets have gone up about 800 900 points, the correction will then also happen about 3 to 400 points. That's a very big possibility. So tomorrow again, it becomes quite important where the markets are opening. So tomorrow, if the markets obviously open flat, which I don't know if I don't know looked at the data as of now, and I don't know what the SGX and Dow are doing. But if the market opens flat, obviously we'll have a continuation of the move, the up move that's been happening. If the markets are opening higher, if you get a good gap up tomorrow, maybe around 720, 730 levels, then we can again expect some kind of sideways move. But for tomorrow, I think if you get a good gap up, I would say try to book your profits. The reason is that we are getting a stiff resistance around these 780 to 800 levels. It's a very stiff zone, and I don't think this can be taken out as of now. So if you get something close by here, I would say try to book your profits, or if you are a risky trader, you can try to accumulate some short position. You can buy some puts of Nifty going forward, having a as close as possible to this level and having a tight stop loss, maybe at 10, 11, 830, 840.
That's perfect. I think, SGX Nifty is also trading around 11,720 levels, which is
Yeah,
approximately the levels that you're talking or you're aiming for.
yeah,
And I think that will stand true. And analysis that is told that, you know, uh, if someone is willing to take a trade, they might, take an early entry, be an early bird and take a few puts maybe tomorrow itself.
yeah. I just
Or
want to talk about one thing before I move forward, which I feel is quite important. So just give me a second, Himalaya. This is the dollar index, the US
okay,
USD DXY, the CFDs. So as you all know
yes.
that dollar and Nifty, basically the emerging markets have an inverse relation. So if dollar goes down, so you can see dollar has gone down in the last couple of days, and that is the reason why Nifty has gone up. So if you see closely, you are getting some kind of a doji formation as of now, which might not
Hmm.
hold true in the coming hours. But if you get some kind of doji and a bounce on the dollar tomorrow, this can lead to the fall in Nifty also. So I would say try to track the dollar, the DXY index, to plan your trades better for tomorrow. So
And
that's
if
it.
you see,
Yeah.
it's not a definite clean support
Doji.
level over here, but it is definitely somewhat of a support level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Earlier acting
Perfect.
as a resistance.
Yeah.
So I think that can add up to this as well.
Right. So I think that's it for Nifty. What do you think about Bank Nifty? Would you mind sharing your screen with us?
Absolutely not. I'll just share my screen quickly and I'll be, you
Yeah.
know, uh,
Yeah, I can see your
talking
screen.
about Bank Nifty. All right, so let's first try to understand as to what has happened today. Then, we'll be able to correlate what we are expecting tomorrow. So let's get into the internals, and I would like to, show you the 15-minute charts. And if we go through the 15-minute charts, it is pretty evident that the first half of the market hours was pretty steady. And, at 2:30, wherein it's a similar sort of setup that we saw in Nifty as well. So around 2:30 in Bank Nifty also, we saw a big shoot up. So again, over here, if you wanted to take a trade today, it was only at 2:30 around this level where,
Yeah.
there was a breakout and you could have, really taken a trade and scalped for a few points in the market.
Okay.
Talking about the coming days, what should we expect tomorrow in Bank Nifty? So let me just quickly open up my day chart and try to understand what is happening over here. Now, yesterday, if you remember that it had created a shooting star, call it a shooting star, or call it a dory sort of a formation over here, but it did not hold true. Today we did not get the correction. We would have only shorted Bank Nifty. It would if it would have knocked off the
22,000, right?
22250 levels,
Right.
22,250 levels. But what we are seeing in the market is, the Bank Nifty is still, looking out for short coverings. They are still short covering in the Bank Nifty, and today it was pretty evident that the stock short covering is there in the market, and I am expecting that there is a little bit of juice left. So what are my levels for Bank Nifty? So for Bank Nifty, like I mentioned yesterday, I'm looking at Bank Nifty for anywhere around 23,100 to 23,150 levels. And if we look at the RSI as well, this is around a strong resistance level as well for Bank Nifty. Time and again, it has acted as a support and resistance level on RSI.
Yeah.
So tomorrow towards the day end, as you said that for Nifty, as you're planning to take shots and sorry, you're planning to take put options. So I think the if a person is willing to enter into the markets a little early, then I think tomorrow at the second in the second half of the market, looking at the price action, can opt out for Bank Nifty puts as well.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so we can get a good gap up tomorrow And I think in the second half or maybe later, we can try to see some kind of change in the trend, because the resistance will play a major role, because there are so many gaps on the index leading to the correction, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some
All
stocks
right.
now.
So
Yeah,
yes, so let's talk about, let's focus on the stocks that you are willing to pick tomorrow. So I think one of the picks that you
is
had was
Dr.
Dr.
Reddy.
Reddy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Dr. Reddy is doing quite well. So even if Nifty falls tomorrow or in the coming days, I think this is one stock which has a lot of juice left. The reason is that we have got a very good inside candle. There's a very big green candle on the 18th September, and you are in
Hmm.
this range. So also it looks like a pennant if you look at it from a technical
Absolutely.
perspective. So I would say you can try to go long in the coming sessions. If tomorrow, that's perfect. But if you start trading above 5200 levels, or to be exact, 5220 levels, that's a very good area you can try to go long. Your SL can be quite small, maybe a closing at 5100, and targets can be as high in the swing perspective. The first target can be 5337. It can go all the way to 5500. If you can hold longer than 6000 is also possible. So I feel this is one stock that can blast. But at the same time, if you break
Absolutely.
this channel, the trend line, you can also see the level of 5000s. But this is going to be a very important support below which we can see a lot of gap fillings.
All right. So if the 5,000 level breaks, then we can sort of, we
Yeah.
can maybe see a
But
200
yeah,
point correction.
but
All right.
probably we'll be
But
looking at the
if you look
upper range
at,
gap.
if you're looking from a long position and, from positional point of view, so what are your levels? You said around, you can probably consider the pole of the pennant.
Yeah, it's sorry, it's a very big pole. The pole is around thousand, 100. Sorry, it starts. You could say around 44, 50. It's gone all the way. So it's a 1,000 point pole. It's a very big pole. So
Hmm.
this basically means this much juice is left in the stock. It might not happen tomorrow,
Absolutely.
but this much juice is left. That was the same example we did in Adani Enterprises. There was a very big pole, about 100 rupee pole, and that much juice is left. So you might not get it tomorrow, but it will be coming in the coming days. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes. So we can probably, add it for uh, from a positional point or a swing point of
Yes,
view.
yes.
Perfect. I think that's perfect.
So
All right,
what do you?
Devang,
Yeah,
let's
right.
come to the consumer part as well, right? Let's
Yeah.
talk about the consumer sector, and I think Unilever is something that you're looking out at.
Yeah. So HUL, I think, is at a very good juncture. The reason is I'm looking at the daily chart, and this trend line resistance has been held since 29th of July. So you are getting a lot of resistance, and HUL is in essentially a downtrend. So tomorrow, it's a very important day. The reason is we are getting a lot of resistances here. So you have a downward trend
Absolutely.
line, you have a horizontal resistance. At the same time, you also have a double bottom formation being
Double
formed here.
bottom.
So this
Perfect.
zone is very, very crucial for HUL. The reason is if it breaks, it's also possible you can have a correction because you are getting a resistance. So that's fine. You can try to go short, get some couple of points. But I will be concerned
Mm.
if you start trading higher. I would say above 2140. If you start trading above 2140, I would say just 30 points away. Then we can see a very good move in HUL. And then I would say even the 2200 levels are possible, followed by levels like 2250. So these levels in HUL are possible. So try to track the stock tomorrow, put it in the watch list, and it can be a good trade.
That is wonderful. All right. So
So
Devang, I have been tracking Dabur in the
yeah,
consumer
what do you
sector
think
as well.
about Dabur? Yeah,
So, Dabur is at a very, very, very key level. It is at a, resistance level if you can see on the day charts. And, I am not expecting buying tomorrow immediately in the market. I feel that there won't be a breakout immediately. I want that build up before the breakout happens. The reason being, again, the reason stands same as we had explained earlier in the previous talks. So if this gives a single shot breakout, then I don't think that trend will sustain for a longer period of time,
right.
and
It can be a
today
false
if you
breakout
see,
as well.
it can be a false breakout, and today if you see, there was huge volume today, but it
Yeah,
ended
yeah,
up creating a shooting star. So
that's right.
tomorrow is like a confirmation day, right? And if there is, I feel that there'll be a little bit of correction before we see an upside in the market or upside in the stock. And if the stock corrects, it can come down to your 510 levels maybe.
Yeah.
as a first target, and your next target can be around your 500 round number level, which is a very strong number for this Dabur stock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Dabur, I'm looking from a short position and nothing from a long position, as
Right.
opposed to Hindustan Unilever.
Right.
And if you may, quickly just open up Nifty FMCG, if
Okay.
that's possible.
Yes.
I think that is also at a very important level.
Yeah.
So Nifty FMCG is at also at a resistance level, which was previously acting as a support. It is at 30360 levels.
Yeah.
So again, which again today it showed some selling pressure in the market or in this sector mainly, and again the RSI is also at a very crucial resistance level. So again, you can expect selling in this sector overall. But what you said about HUL, I think that is wonderful, and I think I'm also looking from a long position in HUL itself.
Yeah, so if you can see, basically all the sectors have let off some steam today. We have seen some kind of
Absolutely.
red candles, some kind of patterns signaling a weakness. Not exactly, but if it happens because the move is so big in the markets, it can give you a 200-300 point pullback. Also, it's possible. But I would say the market structure remains a buy on dip. So if you get a 200-300 point pullback, that would be a good area to go long, accumulate the stocks that you want, and buy them out. And finally,
Absolutely.
we have one stock, Titan. Again, the
Hmm.
same structure that's almost same in all the stocks right now. We have a very strong. So if you see the round number 1200, that's been acting as a very strong resistance for Dabur from the last 3-4 sessions. So it becomes very important where
Titan.
Dabur, sorry, Titan. So it becomes very important where Titan has to go. As we said, any power move is very difficult to break a crucial level. So it has been
Hmm.
consolidating at this 1200 level. So tomorrow, if it starts to fall down below these lows of 1190, we can probably see some movement to the downside. That is quite possible. At the same time, if we start to trade above 1215, I would say that's a very good area to go long, even on the intraday basis, because then you will be breaking all the highs and you can try to go higher. Because Titan is a good company, it's in a good trend, and these two levels are quite important for tomorrow. Yeah.
And do you see the impact of the festive season? We have Diwali in November, and October also is, I think, full of festivals. And generally, people or the Indian consumers during this festive season, they are more inclined towards buying gold and such ornaments, which will
Titan does
end
perform
up.
in these seasons because it is directly related, to jewelry and the weddings. But everyone is actually hoping. I've seen a lot of interviews of the CEOs of a lot of companies. So a lot of people are
Hmm,
hoping that due to the festive season, some kind of revival and demand does come up.
demand is back in the market. Yes.
So obviously, Titan is one of the people who will benefit. When Dhanteras comes, people start to buy gold and jewelry, etc. The festivities are coming, so this stock will be in focus. So as I said, 1200 is a crucial level. It's been holding since the past 2 months or so. If it is broken, we can see a very good move to the upside, and I would say even a movement towards 1290 as well as 1335 is possible. So holding these levels are quite important. Yeah,
That's perfect. So yes, this is definitely that I'll be adding on my watch list. So just before we conclude, let's just give a summarization of maybe a ballpark calculation of Nifty Bank Nifty once again. So maybe you can just
sure.
quickly summarize the levels for Nifty.
Yes, so Nifty basically tomorrow it depends where it opens. If you get a good gap up around 730, 740, I would say try to book your positions if you're long, or at least you can, if you're a risky trader, you can try to take a short home and hold it on a positional basis because you might be able to get, I would say, a 200-point fall till 11,400 gaps, which is possible. And the stop loss in that case can be around 11,820, 1130 levels. It's possible. So use your own risk analysis and the your own research when it comes to these trades. We are giving you these videos for educational purposes, so do consult your financial advisor before trading.
Yes,
And on the
that's correct.
Nifty Bank, as you said, Himalay, you might want to book profits around 23,100, 23,150. If you get some resistance there, you can try to take some shorts home, but that is one area where you can see some kind of resistance coming into play.
All right. All right. So that's perfect. I think we have given a good overview of what can happen tomorrow and what are the stocks in focus. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about before we conclude?
No, I think that's all. If there are any important updates, we will put a video up during the market hours to let you know what you have to do. So I think that's it for now.
All right. So thank you all for watching our video. You can, please feel free to drop in your comments if you want us to analyze any particular stocks, or you can visit us on our Instagram page. You can DM us. We are here to help you out. Please feel free. We are always there for you. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you
Have a
so much.
good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.